ladies and gentlemen. Although my topic is about Ajit Kumar Doval, but before talking about, I will take a couple of minutes to say that after spending 30 plus years in journalism, I have realized one thing, that the biggest success of the Indian intelligence in Pakistan has been that they were able to create an atmosphere in our media where you can see how many people sitting here would be knowing the name of the current chief of RA, but everybody must be knowing the name of ISI chief. How many people would be knowing the names of all previous RA chiefs, but everybody must be knowing the names of all the former ISI chiefs. So this was a campaign, it was introduced by Indians that to make the ISI chiefs a topic of discussion even before their nomination and make disappointment as a big issue in Pakistan. It is not that it is everybody is concerned about who is going to be the next ISI chief or what, but similarly it is not a problem of Indians that who is going to be the RA chief, but they have very successfully did it in our case. Similarly, I would say how many people and how many media houses in India have gone to make a documentary on from where Kulbhushan Yadav belonged to, what is his residence, where he has been living. How many Indian reporters have gone to prove that Sarabjit Singh, Kashmir Singh or other terrorists who operated in Pakistan, where they belonged to, where their families were back in India. But yes, because of this, our media was very quick to produce documentaries on a fictitious Ajmal Kasab residence, and we are still, majority in our media, they prefer to carry out false flag operations against their own intelligence agencies and against their own army, and they feel pride in it. And similarly, whenever we see some news about originating from India about Pakistan, these news get more coverage in our media, whereas our news are hardly taken to that spotlight in India. The basic person who introduced this thing in Pakistani media was Mr. Vikram Sood, a chief of RA. And surprisingly, Mr. Vikram Sood was neither an intelligence cadre officer nor, like others, a police service officer, but he was a postal service officer. He was a postal service officer who was trained by Mr. B. Raman, the number 2 of RA, who remained number 2. But he was appointed as RA chief because he had a wonderful media handling skills, and he knew how to penetrate into media circle. And he was appointed the chief of RA just at the time when Pakistan was getting the private channel, the electronic media installed. And it was his initiative later on that organizations like South Asia Free Media Associations and these things were introduced. Now coming back to Mr. Ajit Kumar Doval. Ajit Kumar Doval is also not a cadre intelligence officer, but he was a police service officer of IPS, Indian Police Service. And in India, when they appoint the RA chief, they normally get it from the IPS, and IPS normally, IPS officers, they are posted in the Intelligence Bureau, IB. IB is not much discussed in Pakistan, but IB is as lethal as RA when it comes to India. Now, there were a few incidents in which Mr. Ajit Kumar Doval was involved, and General Jaffrey mentioned about the Kandahar hijacking. You would be amazed to know that the chief negotiator for negotiating with the hijackers in Kandahar hijacking was Mr. Ajit Kumar Doval. Mr. Ajit Kumar Doval was the chief of IB's Indian occupied Kashmir affairs in 90s, and in 90s he also organized the Hazrat Bal Shrine siege, because the speciality of Mr. Doval is creating fake factions of high profile freedom movements, and also creating fake hijackings to credit them to those. For Khalistan, Mr. B. Raman and Mr. Doval have been doing a lot of such practices. Similarly for Kashmiris and for Maos, they have also been doing it. There was a person who is now known to be a high profile jihadi element, and India gives 80% of news coverage to him. He was actually a almost no known small element of Afghan jihad. He was arrested in occupied Kashmir by Mr. Doval and his company. Now imagine a Pakistani militant arrested in occupied Kashmir with arms. What was he charged with? Just trespassing violation, just immigration law violation. Can you believe that a Pakistani arrested with arms inside India would be charged only with trespassing laws? He, along with 3 other people, they were remained in detentions. I would say rather our investigation proved that rather 5-star detention, and then they were asked to go back to Pakistan and work for them. But the issue was how to launch them, because nobody knew them in Pakistan. Nobody knew them in the jihadi circles. So for that purpose, this Kandahar hijacking was organized to bring them into the limelight. Anywhere in the world, I have never seen that somebody is hijacking an aircraft to demand the release of a person who is arrested in immigration charges, who is arrested and almost completing his term in the prison or wherever he was detained. And after that Kandahar hijacking, all the people who were released in exchange, till today they have not done one single thing to help Pakistan, but they have done everything to create troubles for Pakistan and to help Indians to blame Pakistan one way or the other. Mr. Wajahat Habibullah, he was the former Chief Commissioner of Srinagar, and Lieutenant General Zaki, who is the former security advisor to the Governor of Indian occupied Kashmir in 90s, they are on record in Indian media. They have proved that they found Ajit Kumar Doval helping the miscreants who were actually a fake faction of Hizbul Mujahideen to penetrate into Hazrat Bal Shrine, and he was facilitating them, and he kept it doing for like so many days, so that the issue, and then they were given the safe passage to it because those were his men. Like Mumbai attacks, it went on air for like 72 hours. Similarly, the Kandahar hijacking was negotiated by Mr. Doval for 1 week, so that maximum global media coverage can be arranged. I have a small video to throw some light on Mr. Doval's current activities after he was appointed as a National Security Advisor. After his retirement from IB in 2005, I guess, he was kept at Vivekanand International Foundation, a RAW-funded RSS think tank, and soon after his coming to the seat of National Security Advisor, all the Indian Foreign Office matters are also being run with the intelligence perspective or with the RAW perspective. You must be knowing the visit of Mr. Obama to India, at which the Indian Foreign Secretary had to say that I was not involved in it. Everything was being done by Mr. Doval. Why Pakistan-India relations are not improving? Because Pakistan is trying to negotiate with India in the diplomatic manner, but India is with the policeman's mind and with the intelligence perspective, they are trying to sort out things through a policeman's perspective. This is, I think, the biggest reason. Can we have the video, please?
A setting which you least expected.
India, for some time, has always used Afghanistan as a starting front, and India has, over the years, financed problems for Pakistan on that side of the border, and you can carry that into many dimensions.
The man crafting terror in South Asia goes by the name Ajit Kumar Doval. An ex-police officer, an ex-spy master. This man is out to destabilize a region which housed three largest nuclear powers of the world. Building a terrorist outfit is a difficult task worldwide. This difficulty for Doval is anything but. The man is running a plan for re-engaging TTP militants by establishing Daesh-TTP nexus. Syrian and war in India confirms that Doval is having complete data of Daesh militants which has been provided to him by Syrian authorities. As Indian media confirms his secret trip to Syria and Iraq, is Doval receiving the Obama administration? Or is he doing it with complete knowledge of capital hill? He has held series of meetings with Daesh warlords in Iraq and Syria, sometimes with and sometimes without CIA glasses. Concluding his meetings in the Middle East, he has organized a TTP Daesh meeting in Kandahar. Last month, at the Indian consulate, Afghanistan. Officers of Indian police service from different state cadres really strongly follow Hindutva ideology after joining spy agencies. They also developed deep links with RSS, extremist arm of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party. An unholy nexus formed by Biraman, Sanjeev Tripathi, Alok Joshi, Amitabh Madhav finds Doval at the center stage. He was Captain Army to maintain a deep association for unauthorized projects despite acute professional rivalry of Ivy and Raw. Doval, Raman, Tripathi formed Chota Rajan gang for harm of unauthorized, unsanctioned operations in the region and beyond the regional lines. Funds for such unauthorized operations are also generated through underworld gang of Chota Rajan. This gang works jointly for Raw and Ivy. Alama is also provided its services under Hindutva access. U.S. Embassy in India, according to leaked diplomatic cable, confirmed the links of Doval with Chota Rajan. Doval has been planning the streets activities inside and outside India since the early 90s. The well-crafted Hazrat Bal Shrine episode of 1990s in Indian-occupied Kashmir brought him to the high point of his heinous career. He also planned kidnapping of foreigners in Indian-occupied Kashmir in 1995 in order to seek the roots of armed terrorism. Such Subsequently, he scripted drafts anti-Muslim riots in close coordination with security party Doval. In 1999, Doval, along with Rahman, organized hijacking of Indian airliner IC-814. The party with Doval's association has also been working on a plan to penetrate into Pakistani media and lay down projects like Aman Ki Asha and Safwa. Doval's philosophy of depending more on human intelligence has helped creating molds in several regional media outlets. Former Indian Army Chief V.K. Singh's unauthorized technical support division could also be organized only with Doval and Triparti's blessings. Moreover, China's Tibet riots of 2008 and constant Xinjiang violence is also a result of Doval's scripted Hindutva policies for India. This world is having one of its biggest police building up steadily in India. That is because this man, Ajit Kumar Doval, or maybe he should be called Ajit Doval, has been appointed Indian government's national security advisor. Yes, Indian government's national security advisor. Is such a man having access to secure information at the highest level, the nuclear arms South Asia is bound to head towards destabilization. The selector, his immediate boss, is Prime Minister. Mr. Narendra Modi has proven to be a threat not only for the region, but for the world as well. This nuclear flashpoint felt between India and Pakistan, having battled up into the hands of Hindutva terrorists, is a threat to the civilized world that is already having sleepless nights over deteriorating peace around the globe.
And our latest investigation indicate that Mr. Doval has now started recruiting. They have actually written to the Prime Minister's office, and it has been approved to create a special intelligence cadre, and 450 people are being placed for special intelligence wing to handle the CPEC, to sabotage the CPEC, to be more correct. And the details in this were published in our newspaper. You can log on to the website of Daily Mail. You can see it there. Thank you very much.